Hello and welcome to A Wheel Thing TV. I'm Dave Knoll. In this week's episode we're checking out the Range Rover Evoque Dynamic. It's Range Rover's baby car, the Evoque. This is the Dynamic, the third of four in the range that you can get. And it's powered by a 2-litre petrol engine. It's the same EcoBoost engine that Jaguar use and of course sourced from Ford. Well over 170 kilowatts, 350 newton meters, mated to a 9-speed automatic gearbox, which is a little bit clunky at times, I have to say. Naturally enough, in a Range Rover. Power operated rear gate. And a drop it down. Simple as that. It's becoming more and more popular in the cars around the world, and I think it's not a bad idea personally. You do get the Range Rover name embedded into the door sills. They light up blue at night. Beautiful leather seats, 3-position memory seating. I think 2 would be fine, to be perfectly blunt, and a very tidy looking interior. That's brushed aluminium look. You still get the same dial that Jaguar has. It rises out of the center console, and of course some very tasty looking dials and some lovely soft touch material on the top of the dash here. Push button start. Goes through the usual routine of checking everything out. And there's the dial that's risen out of the door. Naturally enough, all the warning signals to tell you about certain things, but this is the important part about the car, apart from its driving of course, is all of the various settings that you have here on the screen. So you've got your setup menu, you've got all these little bits and pieces that you can play with, and in-control apps, for example. This is in the valet mode, of course. All the other little toys to play with. And it will also allow you to go through and change interior lighting, which is hidden just down in there. The mood lighting, you've got some colour changes that are available for you. Let's see if we can get that to work, eh? Okay, so we're getting all the various options in regards to sound, ambient lighting, cameras. You can actually pick up video from around the outside of the car. Back to extra features, ambient lighting, and then you have a choice of which colour you'd like to pick from. Blue, white, a nice shade of amber, and a sunset, and you've got that in there as well. And of course your brightness levels. On here you've got your driving modes, and this will also light up on the dash. If we select dynamic, you'll get a lovely red backlighting through the crystalline inserts, and if we press across again, you've got grass, gravel, mud ruts and sand. The typical off-road capability for a very well-known off-road brand. Meridian provide the sound system. It's a well-known British brand, exceptionally high quality, beautiful sound out of the car, lovely stitching on there, and of course you do get as an option a massive panoramic sunroof. I believe this is around $1,700 as an option, might be a little bit more. On road, the car itself goes obviously quite well. That turbo engine is just an absolute cracker, and it's become very popular to use. And 2-litre turbos seem to be about the point of sale nowadays. For example, the Hyundai Sonata Turbo, that uses a 2-litre turbo. Ford, of course, which as we mentioned, goes through for this into Jag and to a few other brands as well. It really does work well. It goes quite lovely, to say the least, when you put the foot down. Brakes are fantastic, nicely balanced, well modulated. Ride quality is a little bit choppy. It's a little bit hard over certain surfaces. The old speed bumps that we have to put up with, it really does bang and crash through on those. But otherwise, it's a very plush, very even going ride. The dial gear change is a little bit different to get used to if you're used to the old T-style or the normal pistol handle grip that we have nowadays. But it engages from reverse to drive very quickly. Sometimes the gearbox does feel like it's clunking through gears. Other times you wouldn't even notice that you've changed, and especially with 9 gears to choose from. It's not a bad car overall to drive on the road. It handles really well. You can throw it around quite a lot, and there's very minimal body roll, which is quite important for, I guess, the SUV, where you've got this upper sort of centre of gravity. On the dash, of course, you've got your little LCD screen, mechanical needles in this case, but you have information available via these buttons just on here. So, for example, we flick on down, as you can see, you've got your driving features, trip computer, all that kind of stuff. And of course you can just go back using the back button and go through, and let's say we pick the instrument display, flick across to that, and you can go through and actually select what kind of information you'd like to have on your screen, whether it's in miles per hour or kilometres per hour. Of course, here in Oz we would use kilometres per hour, temperature units, pretty simple, Celsius, Fahrenheit, all that kind of thing. Nice and simple to use, as it should be. Range Rover Evoque starts from around the $50,000 mark, and this one goes up to around $70,000. Of course, as I mentioned, there is 4 models in the range. This is the 3rd highest, and with the 2-litre petrol engine and 9-speed auto. It goes, and it goes quite well. Off-road performance, as you'd expect from such a brand, is pretty tidy to say the least. I personally would put this in the category that it belongs to people who don't have any kids, aren't intending to have any kids, probably in the 30 to 40 age bracket, and using it as a little bit of a showstopper. It's a very elegant looking car. A lot of conversation about the 2 doors and the way that the roof slopes down. Look, that's just how it is, and it certainly works for Range Rover. I liked it a lot actually, but personally not the kind of car I'd buy, mainly because I've got 2 young kids and it's a bit of a hassle getting them in and out of that back seat. Outside of that, go for it. For Wheel Thing TV, I'm Dave Knoll.